Bruce Willis news?
That he's quitting acting?
But did you see why?
Yeah.
It's really sad.
It is really sad.
Like, I really like Bruce Willis. That's so sad. And the fact that his family like shared that sweet like photo of him and the message, and I was like, oh.
People be getting old, dude.
I don't
Does it
like
make you
that.
feel old?
Yeah, like that. What's his name picture?
Yeah,
I
baby, we're
posted.
talking about Bruce Willis.
Who are you talking about?
We are talking about Bruce Willis.
Okay, the way you said that, it's like, yeah, you're funny.
No, we're recording.
I will.
Bridget says hi.
Hello.
He says hello.
It sounded like a very morning hello. Hello. Have a
It is
sleep.
a morning hello. Hi everybody. I'm Lauren.
I'm Bridget, and that was Will.
And that was Will. We got a little guest appearance from my husband today.
Not appearance. Ominous disembodied voice.
Which is actually what he is.
Lauren is married to a voice void. It's very D&D style. No body.
Yeah. No, but I am a bard, so it kind of tracks.
You know what? You're right. And I'm a rogue, so here I am needing coffee because I'm a night person, not a morning person.
I'm an every time person because I just don't sleep. Chaotic, good.
You chaotic schedule. Your chaotic neutral schedule.
You're right. Here we are.
Here we are.
So what did you think of,
so there's not a lot of banter there.
What did you think of these episodes, Bridget? Has your opinion changed at all?
The first one was really painful. 4 was also like, I'm going to drown you in information so fast you don't know, you cannot type fast enough. And I'm like, okay, why? Who is this man? Why is he eating a bologna sandwich and sprinkling pepper on it? And why did you trust him automatically? What the heck is happening? And then 5 was like, okay, but we got a weird history lesson in the middle of it. And I was like, okay. And I don't know, it tried to be like sentimental and I wasn't feeling it. And then 6 is where it changed for me because 6 was like, my opinion on the show hasn't changed yet. But I texted Lauren this last night when I was watching him and I was like, I still don't think I like it, but they did capture my attention. They ended on this cliffhanger that I was like, I will watch the next episode because I do want to see where this goes.
You're exactly
I don't know if I
was.
enjoy it, but I want to see what happens.
You're exactly where I was at this point of my JoJo watching life. I was just like, what am I watching? And then I was like, okay, but that cliffhanger was promising.
And I'm a sucker for when they do end credit music early when the show's still going. So it's very epic feeling. Like Full Metal did that. Like my favorite time Full Metal did that was when Roy Mustang was reading the secret letter that we had seen pass throughout all the characters. And he's like, and the music's playing, and it's that the tunnel music that they had. So it's really upbeat. And he says something witty, and then he like burns the letter, and you're like, this next episode, it's all going down. It's all going down. And you were like super hyped. And it did. And so this one, I was like, it's going down. It's going down for real.
Are you yelling timber?
I was singing a different one.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we did not mind meld here. Well, my bad.
And then look, I was showing Lauren this. I gave my cat Prozac. And I have perfect little paw indent, like in and out claw marks. So if you're watching the video, I'm gonna turn into a cat. Just kidding.
No. Sorry, Bridget. She's telling you her lifelong ambition.
Sleep all day, claw people, and they expect it from me, and then just, I don't know, eat, dream life, and have people pet me into it. Get into it. Yeah.
Well, my boss called me about 10 minutes before my alarm went off, and I
Mm.
didn't answer the phone, so it's
Well,
fine.
they're probably trying to call you in early, and you're like, no.
No, I'm tired. I just stayed asleep.
I always love those viral messages of a boss texting him like, "Hey, we're short 2 people tonight for the dinner round," and they text back, "Man, that sucks."
See, at my job, they don't really call you in early very often. And when they do, it's a pretty extreme situation because we can only work 40 hours. Like, we don't
HEB doesn't let you have overtime.
know. Like, you have to, like, really get approved and be effed over in your department to get overtime.
Hmm.
So if they call you in, something's pretty bad. But also, I'm the manager tonight, so I don't think they would call me in.
Not unless like the store's on fire or something.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
I smell like toast.
I really don't want that to happen. We're good.
But then you can just transfer down to a store near me and then move to a place near me.
But then I have to move.
Yeah, moving's so fun, right?
Yeah, I love moving. It's my favorite thing in the world,
I love
actually.
that I texted that group chat of like, "Hey, I need people to help me move," and not one person can do it. I was like, Ryan will be in Disney. Crystal and Anthony are flying somewhere. I don't know. That one is the excuse that I was like, this one doesn't land.
We'll see.
You and Will are on y'all's anniversary. That makes sense. I'm moving literally on the day of your anniversary.
Yeah.
Shane and Rachel just had a baby, so obviously that's a lot because they also have a toddler. And then Pri and Malcolm, they'll probably it depends. Pri's in school, so she might not be able to do Thursday. And Malcolm like works forever because he works for He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Mm.
Okay, the one you sent me though, the TikTok you sent me of like the different octaves based on the size of the stick was so satisfying. It's like they can't go any lower. Oh, they went lower.
I only sent it to you because I was like, no one else is gonna understand this chaotic humor.
It was so satisfying. You had like that whole like tree branch.
It was so good, and he did it so good each time.
It was perfect, and I was very, very happy with that video. I watched it multiple times and giggled.
I like to play a game when I open my TikToks now because generally when I open them, I've got like 50 to 45, right?
Mm-hmm.
At like the end of every day. And I like to play a game of how many TikToks has Bridget sent me today? Because Bridget's always my top sender.
Yeah.
Yesterday, you were very close to being dethroned.
By Michelle?
Will. Will sent me 14. You sent me 15.
Oh. Back up, Will. Back off.
I know. He didn't find it as amusing as I did. But that's okay because it's my phone, so I get to find it as amusing as I want to.
I have two top senders, and they're normally neck and neck. It's my friend Adela from college, and then Michelle. Michelle's got some good banger like D&D and anime ones. So the ones that I send you
ones are awesome.
that are normally anime are from Michelle, but then
I know because y'all
Michelle's
both
probably
sent them to
sending
me.
these to Lauren. Yeah, I just clicked this week and I was like, I should stop sending these to Lauren because I bet she gets these too.
I skipped like the bottom half of yours because it was all from Michelle.
People will soon learn that I repurpose TikTok sometimes. I go through my friends send me and go, this person would like this too.
I'll like sit next to Will when I'm like scrolling through his stuff and I'll look at him and be like, did you send this to anyone? And if he says no, I'll send it to everyone. I'll take TikTok credit.
I love a TikTok that's that good that you can send it to everyone in your 10 recents.
It's very rare that happens to me because y'all are all so different. And it's so weird because like, I feel like my TikTok is very chaotic because it's like gay video game, anime, house building, and food making. And then there's Dana, who's like gay history, fan fiction, anime, comic books. And then there's you that's like straight gay, Disney.
Yeah, I mix those. It's really interesting.
Star Wars. anime, and then Michelle is all this awesome D&D anime goodness, and then Rachel is straight up like mom straight talk. Shane is, I don't even know what Shane is.
Shane is log in once a month.
Yeah, because it's
so
like,
he doesn't have a good algorithm.
it's so weird because it's like
Normally I
it's
get
like,
something and it's like pop culture related.
yeah, but it's also like all super straight white male
It is.
and musical theater too.
What is the last one he sent me? He's because I literally it'll be like, oh, this is Shane's like every 3-week login, and
Yeah, and it's just like one video here and there.
yeah,
It's hard to get a grasp on what he is.
let's see, Shane. Let me go through all the videos I've sent him in the past month real quick because he logs in once a month, and the other day I didn't log in for like 2 days, and so then it took me like 2 days to get through everything. Oh, the last thing he sent me was a message because I sent him of a crazy person trying to get kicked out of a theater, and the guy manager couldn't do it. I think I sent it to you too.
Oh, you did. It was
and only the
stupid.
girl manager could de-escalate and get him out. And Shane goes, "I have PTSD, but way to go for de-escalation."
We had just talked about that too when you sent that, and I was like, "Here it is."
That's right.
In the United States.
So, Shane sent me another message, and I sent him the Jurassic World experience at Universal Park, and they have like Blue, and these parents are holding their kids, and they're freaking out because the raptor's coming out, and it's like laughing that the kids are freaking out. And Shane just said Addison would ride Blue, no questions asked.
Honestly, though, yeah, that child would like jump on
every dinosaur name in the world. Okay, the last video he sent me was
this is a t-shirt. Yeah, he sent me that one too.
Phonetically spelled out.
I would wear that. I love that shirt.
You're time on me. You're already. It sounds like Miranda sings. The way you have to do your mouth looks like Miranda sings in order to do that. You know when I said the banter's not happening, that we tried to start this episode and I just absolutely derailed us?
Yeah.
Happy Thursday.
Here we are.
I literally just spent so long scrolling through a TikTok.
Much like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This is kind of a nonsense
compilation of your horrible segues from when I have derailed us and you're trying to get us back into the show. Because they're always like so bonkers. Someone on the internet, please make a compilation of that.
I should get an award for the amount of times I have successfully bad segued us back onto the show. I just want to say that I'm a queen, and
you are a queen.
Nope, I'm tired.
You are a queen. Just end it there. You're a queen.
I'm a queen. Will calls me a queen whenever it's like a thing that I have now started doing, which is actually really good for my self-confidence. So thank you, Will. But just randomly he'll go, "You're a queen," and I have to do this like I have a crown. Like I'm a queen.
Aww, he's a keeper.
He's pretty cute.
Ew, pretty cute. You have like a crush on him?
No, I don't, Bridget. Gross. Stop. If my mom finds out, she'll never shut up about it.
You should pass him a note. With the cool like folding that we used to do. I was really bad at it. One time I just crumpled it into a ball and tried to convince people it was the new way.
You know who else is really good at folding? Dio. He's good at folding his body.
All right, here we go. Lord, I'm not gonna make you suffer through these horrible segues anymore.
I'm like crying. How bad that was.
What do you got for us?
Here's our Netflix summary. All of these summaries are so bad, dude. They're so spoilery and awful. But here it is. JoJo is reunited with his first love, Arena. A man named Will A. Zeppeli demonstrates his strange power and tells JoJo he must destroy the stone mask.
All right, well, so next episode because that was all of it. Wow.
Oh, love it.
That was not like an intro, like, oh, tease you or make you want to watch the episode. That was the episode.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay.
I love all of the Zeppelis.
Oh,
So
I'm dreading meeting more, but all right. Because Baloney Man is something else.
Okay, his name is Will. Okay.
I just kept calling him
nice.
Baron, because I couldn't remember his name for half the time, and I was like, Baron is so much easier than writing Zeppeli every time.
You can call him Baron. We take it.
Well, wait till you. I can't remember one of the characters' names in my notes, and so okay, his name is, what is his name? It's one of the knights that we meet in episode 5.
Tuckus,
Taruckus.
Tarkus,
No.
I wrote
Bluefoot at one point because I couldn't understand what they were saying. And then I think I got it right later. I finally,
like, you figured it out.
Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just stopped writing it anyway. Oh, Bluefort. Well, and then 2 lines later, I just start writing Blue Boy.
Blue Boy is fine. It's also true.
For the rest of the like notes and a half of it, episode and a half, it's Blue Boy. Because I'm like, I can't keep doing this. And like, I finally got Taruckus down, but Bluefoot, and I was like, Blue Boy, Blue Boy. Hair man. All right, anyway. Hair guy. Here we go. Overdrive. So, Speedwagon, who I cannot stand the way he talks, but here we go. I'll make a note about that later. Oh, it's literally the second note. Never mind. Okay, Speedwagon brings JoJo somewhere to heal because he got destroyed in that battle, lost his dad, and lost his house. Literally, Speedwagon just spells it out for us, and it's like, yes, thank you. I saw that.
Did you?
Literally, all Speedwagon is, and I write this later on, is a sportscaster narrating every move. So
now I'm going to take us off topic for just a second. The new Bachelor host at the new end of like the final rose thing, he kept saying was like, yeah, you were like that in Scotland. I know, I was there. Like, he just has the biggest FOMO in the world. And I think that is Speedwagon, like, to a T.
I really hate
his
that
house burned down and his father
though.
died. I know, I was there. Like, I just want him to say it after everything.
Yes, thank you.
So stupid.
Tasha and what's her name should have hosted.
Yeah, they were so much better.
Bachelorette. Like, why is a dude hosting Bachelorette? That's not helpful.
Because they're trying to make a new Chris Harrison.
We don't want a new Chris Harrison.
But instead, they gave us Speedwagon, and we don't like it.
At least he doesn't talk like this.
That's true.
So that's my second note. Literally, why does Speedwagon talk like this? Then I wrote, this opening is still a bop. I'm really enjoying it.
It's
the
really
opening
good.
song and the end song. And later on, I'll make another comment about the opening. So I wrote down Speedwagon's quote. He goes, "Spirit, that's what he needs, and I'm gonna give it to him." And I went, "No, Speedwagon, he needs a surgeon." Spirit, yes, you got every rib in your body broken. I'm gonna give you spirit. No, dude. So he peeks in the door crack like a creeper, and Arena is watching over JoJo, and JoJo's like, "Who is this girl? She looks kind of familiar." And I'm like, "Why wouldn't you think it's Arena? Like, you're like 2 houses down from your house, and she lives like 3 houses down. Like, why was that so impossible for you to think maybe it is Arena?" And I wrote, "Boys are so dumb." That was what I took from that moment, because literally I was like, this is a generalized statement of all men, and it's not wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
I live with one, and I can tell you that's a fact.
And so Arena is like cleaning his wounds, and her fingers are now chafed from how damp they are, because she's apparently been cooling the burns all night long. He also has like a broken arm.
Euphemism.
Well,
She's been cooling the burns all night long. Sorry, the way you said that was really
Oh,
dirty.
I was like, and it sounds gross, but not in a sexual way. So as she's doing this, she faints, and I am ticked. I am so mad. She's like, clean the bed. Ah! She literally does that, like the hand up on the
She's
forehead.
been up all night, Bridget.
Ah!
Have you never dramatically
12 times.
collapsed?
I am like, just talking your ear off. I'm so sleepy. I'm trying to, I'm yawning. I don't go, ah. Like, especially when there's someone awake that I think is cute. Anyway, she fainted, and JoJo catches her with his broken arm. She's like, your arm, you shouldn't. He's like, it's fine. You're so delicate. And I'm ticked. I'm mad. I'm like, all right, Mikasa. Like, I'm so mad at this moment. I wrote, I hate this so much. Why would she have fainted?
I'm crying.
Off. I was like,
So
Arena, you weren't bad in my book, but now you're trash. Trash. Anyway, so then we cut over. Dio's in a wheelchair, and the apothecary guy is pushing him. Except for it's not really a wheelchair. It's like a throne on like those moving furniture dollies, which are like the wood planks on wheels. Like you could just see it sitting on this wooden platform with wheels, and I was like, interesting. Like,
well, I mean, have you ever seen the wheelchair that they used for FDR?
Yeah, but it had handles on it, and it didn't look like a throne sitting on a wooden plank with wheels.
But think about how much further back this is than FDR.
Not that much further.
It's far enough. And it's
they had
London.
Wheelchairs back then, and
did they, Bridget?
They did. I've seen
Did they?
it. I've seen it. And he's with an apothecary guy, the number one dude in the city that would have a wheelchair.
Maybe.
See, look, the dogs are just as upset as
you're
me.
right. They're really having a hard time right
Boys,
now.
tell them.
They
Get 'em.
did.
I'm sorry I called y'all dumb. Y'all are also dumb, though. I've seen it. Very cute.
You've
But
seen
very
it.
dumb. I've seen it.
You need to stop saying saint.
I've seen it.
Stop.
I keep texting people, I shan't. Because of that Doctor Who gift. And you're like, it's the day after Christmas. Take off the antlers. No, I shan't. Anyway, this coffee's working great. Okay.
I'm out of coffee, so I'm drinking tea. Also, I have tummy problems, so tea is good.
Tea is better. Tea is better for tum-tums. So I go, and there we go. Dio makes Jack the Ripper his servant. Jack the Ripper is now back in the picture.
Obviously. If you didn't think Jack the Ripper was gonna be a vampire, why are you
He is
watching
not
this
a
show?
vampire, he is a zombie.
I know.
Clarify that in this episode. And I was like,
Whatever.
I was right. Zombies
I choose to believe that everyone is a vampire.
in life or just show.
In life. In life, I just walk around like this.
So, confession time. Back when Twilight first came out and it
Dear
had
Lord.
us all like under its spell.
Dear Lord.
I used to try and sharpen with a nail file my canine teeth. They're pretty sharp now. But just so you know, I did that.
Back when I was a small child before braces, my canine teeth were completely turned sideways.
Oh,
So they
lucky
looked
duck.
very sharp, and everyone would call me a vampire, and it made me cry. And then Twilight came out, and I was like, dang it.
How dare I get these teeth straightened?
After 4 years of braces, dang it. 3 years.
I think mine was like 1.5, 2.
It sucked. Ruined my
Man.
teeth.
And you get like you still get like the braces glue stuck places. Like, why would they put that on our teeth?
Right? Sorry.
All right, here we go. My next comment. What is with JoJo's thighs? I texted Lauren
That's
a photo.
just the type of pants he's wearing. They're pantaloons.
No, those are thighs because other people are not wearing pants that look like JoJo.
Yeah, but he's a fancy gentleman. That's the thing.
JoJo doesn't have an hourglass figure. His lower half is literally a heart shape. And the way he's always standing, it's like chest up, completely like 90 degrees backward bend, crotch forward. And I'm like,
He's JoJo posing, baby.
I complain about the way women are drawn in comic books. I should complain about how JoJo is drawn because it is also very like same thing happening there.
Kind of love it though because of the way women are drawn in comic books. Like it's nice to see a man got super like disproportionately uncomfortable, and I really appreciate it.
AKA gross buff.
I adore it. I adore it. It only gets worse.
Comic book cover I cannot stand is that Spider-Woman one where it's like you can like see her butthole.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I
what
own that comic book.
This? It makes me so mad every time I see it.
I bought it in hardback because it was part of a series I was reading, and so like I had to buy it, but I bought it in hardback so I could remove the cover. And I hate hardback comic books like more than life. I hate hardback comic books.
But you just don't want to look at that. It's grossly drawn. Like there are details on like that. There's no suit that would fit that tightly. That is body paint.
Well, ask Ryan Reynolds. It's CGI. Sorry.
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So JoJo and Arena are walking. And I wrote, a weird man with a mustache and a top hat are following them. And then he punches JoJo with his pinky in the chest. And he is eating a sandwich. That is an exact description of what happens in 5 seconds. I'm not trying to dumb it down. That is exactly what happens. And I'm like, what? And JoJo's like, that man, how curious, he's following us. And Arena's like, what are you looking at, JoJo? And he's like, nothing. And then all of a sudden this man pinky punches him
in his diaphragm. It's to help him breathe.
And it's so weird. And so then I go, the dude is magic? ? The broken bones are mending. He keeps talking about beating the mask. His name is Baron Zeppeli. That is how quickly this information is coming out. I am frantically typing. This is like the first episode of the show where I was like, yo, there's so much information they're like shoving in my face. Why did I sound like Shaggy when I just did that? I don't know. But so now JoJo's breathing after he was poked, and that's how he was healed. And
total concentration breathing. This is the first form of it.
You stole my joke. You stole. That is like 3 bullet points down. How dare you? I wrote that too.
I'm so sorry.
It's like
that was just off the cuff too. It wasn't even intentional joke steal. I just was like, oh, it's
so hard while
concentration
typing that last night. I was like, first form. That's a Demon Slayer joke for any of you that haven't watched Demon Slayer yet, which you should. It's amazing. It's also by Viz Media, because I was
they make such good content.
I don't know if we'll call that this, but okay.
I love this show.
Well, I don't love this right now.
Yet.
I'm still being open-minded. They've got my attention.
By the 3rd season, I will make you love this show. Hopefully, we'll have watched much more things too, so you can come at it in a different
I don't know. I am so mad at this show that I might hate watch the rest of it before we even roll it.
Are you for real? I would love that so much.
Because I'm sitting here like, this is insane. Like, I giggle a lot. Like, last night, I told you, I have laughed harder at this character name reveal than I ever have at a show. Like,
it's hilarious.
I won't say what it is until we get there, but I wrote dying.
I wrote a fan fiction. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before. I don't care. I wrote a fan fiction. It's not a JoJo fan fiction. It's a Batman fan fiction.
Okay.
But it's set in medieval times because it's all fantasy and it's about like magic and crap. But anyway, they were traveling to the League of Assassins, and Tim Drake had taken over the League of Assassins because he'd killed Ra's al Ghul, because obviously. And are you okay? What did you do?
I'm sorry, but he has a gag reflex phobia. I just like choked on my own cough. I don't know. It was weird. Like there's a tickle in my throat and I coughed, and then it was too hard of a cough, and I'm not quite sure what happened right there.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead. Medieval times, League of Villains.
Okay. So
Assassins.
he's taken over the League of Assassins, and like they have this whole like battle, and it's really cool. It's really cool, and I wrote it so I can tell you that it's really cool. But they when it comes time for like the big name reveal, they're like, who are you? And he's like giving all of these names for like himself. He's like, I'm like the shadow of this, I'm the serpent's head, I am Tim. And I laughed so hard that I cried because
that's like
Dana
the
wrote
Monty
that part.
Python bit.
And I was like, he's Tim? Like, that's it. And it was so good.
Vengeance, I'm the darkness, I am fear, I'm Tim.
It was so funny. And that's what that was. And I love it. But the only reason that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is not my favorite anime is because I'm not done with it. Like, I'm convinced that this is it for me. Like,
I feel like you're never gonna
anime.
finish Stardust Crusaders. Like the whole year we've been talking about
I know,
anime.
I
think
been
you
going
just
through
like
it
don't
so
want to
far.
end it.
I really don't. Like, I love it so much.
That
But I
makes
know it
sense.
has to come to an end. And I know that the last 5 episodes are all Dio. And I love Dio. So, like, I need to get there. But I don't want to stop.
Yeah, well.
But I also want to get to Josuke because he's the whole reason that I started watching this stupid show. It's because I started watching season 4, which is Diamond is Unbreakable. And I fell in love with Josuke, and I was like, okay, I got to get to Josuke. And here I am, still on Jotaro. And
I want to get to Jotaro because I want to get to Matt Mercer.
Well, Jotaro is in every season after this next season. So
I want to get to Matt Mercer's Jotaro.
Well, he's the only Jotaro.
Oh,
so that should be.
I don't know how this show works. All right. Well, moving on from that moment right there. So JoJo, after he's poked, is now healing himself. So JoJo had it in him all along. JoJo learned. Oh wait, the way the Baron breathes activates his special strength and uses energy through certain things and avoids other things. So here's my joke: energy breathing, first form, and I even wrote LOL. So, and Lauren stole that.
So sorry.
So JoJo learns that Dio is still alive and he has the mask. The Baron wants the mask. He tells JoJo his destiny is to learn Sindo, the energy breathing to defeat him. JoJo starts thinking of Arena while holding the tree when he's learning about this, and because of that, the tree starts growing flowers. So suddenly, he's just a natural at this ability, and I was like, "All right, gross." And so Dio, we flash back over to Dio. Dio's feeding upon a woman, and then grabs her face and squeezes it until her head explodes. And I was like, "Whoa!" Eyeball went flying. And then, Lauren.
I love him.
And then he lets
so
Jack the Ripper eat her. And I was like, all right.
Seems about right.
So now we flash back over, and JoJo's now training to learn Sindo from the Baron. The Baron knows about the stone mask because he traveled with his father's archaeology team, and he's the one who pulled the Aztec mask from the old pyramid. One of their companions, when they were on a boat sailing back, so that, very stranded moment, put on the mask and started killing everyone. The Baron jumped into the water to escape, but the sun rose and the demon turned to dust. But then he realized the demon was Baron's father. He put on the mask. No. Knowing that the evil could be unleashed again, he dedicated his life to study on how to destroy the mask. The energy is the energy of blood called Harmon, and they can overload Dio with the energy that feeds him to destroy him. That was literally like 2 minutes in the show. That entire paragraph I just read, and it was like trying to type it.
It's awesome.
Sorry for anyone who hated that noise. If you didn't see the video, I am frantically typing.
I loved it. I loved that noise. It's my new favorite noise, actually. It's your ringtone.
I don't think
now.
I could do it again. I don't think I could do it again if I tried.
That's okay. It's recorded.
Oh,
so
God.
Everyone can hear it forever.
Everybody make that your text alert. Do not. I will kill you.
I will. I will immediately. Don't test me. It's me. Dio.
Learns... Dio. Anyway, I write a comment about that.
So then they learn zoom punch, which is when you just dislocate your shoulder to reach further. And the hormone, the way they say it, hormone, every time. And I'm like, are we French now? Dulls the energy so they don't suffer or feel pain. Or dulls the pain so they don't suffer.
So it really annoys me that they always call it Haman because it's actually called the ripple. Like Haman is what they're doing, but the ripple is
they say the ripple like using. Only 3 times.
I know it really drives me crazy, but I'm gonna get into that in a minute.
So, so Speedwagon is like me doing a British accent is what I wrote. It's bad. So now they're in this little horse carriage and riding to go do something. And I'm like, what is this outfit that JoJo is wearing in this carriage? It looks like a polo outfit. I think it is, but it's grotesque. Oh my, everybody else is dressed like what my background is right now, like normal cloak is, and JoJo's wearing this like double-sided ball cap and a vest. And it's just like, what are you wearing, bro?
Wait till Battle Tendency. He wears crop tops.
I'm so mad. I just cannot fathom that right now. So they go under this bridge and all the horses now are decapitated because, there's no sunlight in this bridge. And Jack the Ripper appears from inside a horse with no head, which I'm not quite sure how he did that so fast. And now one of the horse head is on the carriage driver. And I was like, what in the Godfather is happening right now? Like when he pops out of inside the horse, I was like, how's the horse standing?
He's standing for the horse.
He's got his giant thighs in these like 1-inch horse legs. Yeah. Okay. And he has no blood on him when he comes out of the horse. No, I'm like, you were literally in the entrails of a horse and your clothes are not stained.
JoJo is nothing if not a very fashionable anime. They really care about their clothes.
I'm so mad.
And they are never.
He even makes a comment in the next episode. Well, JoJo, please use your hormones so for the sake of your boots, don't get your clothes wet. And I was like, I will kill everyone in this show. So I wrote, so they are zombies because they literally yell, Jack the Ripper is a zombie. And I was like,
don't you love how everyone just automatically knows everything?
Everything. Nobody discovers information. Somebody always knows the entire world. So they have to eat living flesh, but they must obey their master. So it's kind of like vampire zombie combo. I wrote, okay, so now Jack the Ripper can just like shoot knives out of his body and JoJo's fighting him. Okay, that's different. But fear scatters your breathing. So Baron tells JoJo, don't let fear come at him. You have to be brave. And classic zombie lore. You have to destroy the brain. It's the only way to kill it. Anything else and you risk it coming back. Walking Dead rules. But Jack the Ripper in this fight now escapes into the secret passageway. They were just under a bridge, but now there's a whole tunnel like labyrinth under here. And I'm like,
yes.
Well, what in the geography? That didn't make sense. So JoJo has to follow Jack the Ripper into a tunnel that he escaped into. But what's his name? Baron has a glass of vino with him. And like a dad, doing a driving test with their kids and was like, if you make me spill my coffee, you fail. He's like, while fighting in combat with a zombie, if you spill one drop of this vino, you fail and I'll leave you here and there dry. And
I love how the total test for like a perfect lady is to walk with a book on your head without it falling. Yeah. And the test for a gentleman is to not spill your vino while you're fighting zombie Jack the Ripper.
The casual difference between males and females, I guess, in the 1880s. So
totally normal.
JoJo's walking around in this dock with this vino. It always turns Australian. See, I can. My brother and I talk about it. It turns Australian, and then it sticks hard New Zealander real fast. I tried to host like 4 Monty Pythons one night, and it was just like
I'm just gonna host Monty Python like this now. And I was like, I can't break the New Zealander accent. I'm so sorry. And anyway, so JoJo's like, oh, I've got this light on, and now he can see me in the dark, so I've got to turn off the light. And then he can feel I love the face you make when Will walks through the camera.
I just want everyone to know that I'm very aware of it. Next time I'm gonna
Just hiss at him and see what he does.
he'd be like, did Dio get you?
Boo. So now JoJo can feel the vibrations of Jack the Ripper in his wine, because the wine starts twirling and glowing, and I'm like, all right.
Obviously.
So he can obviously sense where Jack the Ripper is. And my next note was, okay.
It reminds me of Naruto, and I know you haven't watched Naruto, but Naruto has like this like special move. Oh, I don't remember what it's called. It's not Chidori, because that is
friendship.
Sasuke's special move. I want to say it's the Byakugan. But whenever Uriah, who's a toad sage who's teaching Naruto how to do the Byakugan, it's like this like swirl of energy and like air, and you have to hold it in the palm of your hand, but he's having issues doing it, so he gives him like a balloon, and he has to do it inside of the balloon because that's where the air is, and he can like see the flow of the air. That's what this reminds me of. It's like he can see the flow of his ripple because he has something for the ripple to move through. So it gives him confidence in the ripple. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It does make sense. So I don't like it, but it makes sense. I get, yeah, you can see the energy he's emitting.
Sorry
for
like, my
this does work.
Naruto tangent. I'm in the middle of reading Naruto because it is my best friend's favorite thing. Don't tell her. She won't listen to this, so she'll never know that I'm reading it.
Our friends
but I am
don't listen
reading
to our
Naruto,
podcast.
so I
It's
can
fine.
I can start like talking to her about it. But yeah, I'm just gonna like casually slip it into conversation and be like, you know, this is just like when Sasuke left the Leaf Village.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be great. We're gonna love it. I'll let you know her reaction once I, finish.
I do want to see that, because I'm sure it'll be a great reaction. Dana does not fail on her. You didn't hiss.
I forgot. Sometimes I see him and I'm just like, oh, I love him, and I forget to make faces.
Ew, Lauren.
You know, I'm gross.
Disgusting. My brother is blowing at my phone.
My God, does he not know we're busy?
No, because I send him texts over like a week and he doesn't answer, and then one day he'll look at his phone and answer all of the week's messages.
Sheesh.
So I have 4 messages right now. So now, since he can sense what Jack the Ripper is with the wine, he destroys Jack the Ripper and spilt no wine. And so the Baron's like, it sounds like JoJo passed with flying colors. And I was like, all right. And so that's how that episode ends. And so the after credits. So JoJo is fighting these super villain looking guys, but they look like villains from Ninja Turtles or something, like Shredder's weird cousins. That's how I described that preview. Their previews are like 0.5 seconds. So you're just like, what? It's like,
that's the whole show.
Like Attack on Titan and Full Metal, they like give you like a solid 3-minute preview, but this one's like, what? And you get like 2 seconds and you're like, I'm confused.
It tracks, man.
Yeah. So that was episode 4.
Here's some voice actors for you. So Will Antonio Zeppeli, his English voice actor's name is Joe Ochman, and he played Officer Wada in Great Pretender, Oscar Webster in Violet Evergarden, and Paul Handbringer in Little Witch Academia. He was also I don't know. So when you were a kid, did you watch Toonami or
Yes.
an Adult Swim? Do you remember the show?
When parents were asleep, yes.
Do you remember the show Bobobo?
No, did you just make that up?
I did not.
Bo.
And I want to add it to our list so bad because I had like a flashback because it used to come on after Inuyasha at like 3 in the morning. And he's like, followed up as Boba Bo Bo Boba Bo. And he was Safton in Boba Bo Bo Boba Bo, which I love.
Bo. Wow, how satisfying that is.
Not just the best name for anything ever.
Bo.
And his Japanese voice actor is Yoku Shioya. I'm going to say Shioya. That's what it looks like to me. And he was Akira Kiso in Super Robot Wars and Demisha in Sailor Moon. He did really very little. I scrolled through like a whole page of stuff and was like, what? And then, of course, I have Jack the Ripper. His English voice actor is Paul St. Peter, and he played Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts, which I thought was awesome. And speaking of Naruto, he's also the nine-tailed fox demon in Naruto. So cool. And then the Japanese voice actor is Naomi Kuzumi, and he played Irie's dad in My Hero Academia. So like the Yakuza boss played him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Eri?
he also,
You mean Eri?
Yeah.
ERI? Okay.
Yeah. I always say Erie. I don't know why.
It was like,
am I just thinking of Lake Erie?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why
it's spelled with an E with like Erie, so it makes sense.
And then he plays Dudley in Street Fighter. So that was that. I also went ahead and wrote down a structured explanation of Haman, just in case you were confused.
Haman.
For anyone that is confused, because I've had the pleasure of watching the next season, and they go into just a little more detail with Joseph than they do with Jonathan. Jonathan gets kind of the crap into the stick. They're just like, take it. But Haman is ripple energy, so it's also known as the ripple.
Jack the Ripple.
The ripple. I hate you. The ripple is an energy used in the ancient form of martial arts called Sindo, which is also known as the Way of the Hermit, which is really cool for later. So keep that in mind. It's the Way of the Hermit.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds like my kind
Technically,
of thing.
it's the Way of the Hermit / wizard. But I removed wizard because it was weird. So through controlling your breathing, a trained person can produce an energy manifesting as ripples through their body that is identical to the energy of the sun.
To the energy of the sun?
Yes.
Oh. My bad. Makes sense for vampires. Okay.
Yeah. Ripple starts in a person's bloodstream and it flows through the rest of your body through your blood and anything that you can be in contact with. So basically, the less solid an object is that's around you, the more powerful your ripple gets. So that's why it like works really well in water.
Liquid. Okay.
Living things can be affected by ripple, but not like they're not automatically going to get hurt by ripple because it's used more for healing because ripple moves through people instead of like into people. Yeah.
The froggy.
But it works really well on like vampires and zombies because the energy they give off is pure darkness. So it's polar opposite. And that's why it's effective in fighting them. So that's why you had to learn Sindo. But yeah, I just wanted to clear that. Hopefully that clears things up. Who knows? But there's a lot of differences from the manga and the anime in this. So in the manga, like Yurina turns Speedwagon away from the room because she's all like pissy about it because he's all broken and stuff. So he tries to sneak over the wall and break in, and that's why he sees that. Like they totally just skip over that and just make him creepy and like look into but he's like looking through a window into the place he just broke into to see JoJo, and that's why he sees the whole thing. Oh yeah, it doesn't make it any better, but it does make a little more sense. Also, Jack the Ripper doesn't just like hypnotize Join Dio in the manga. Like he stabs him several times and decides to join him because he can't kill him. So he's like, well, I can't kill you. Better join you. They don't tell you in the anime that like anything about Zeppeli being there, like he just shows up.
Oh.
But in the manga, he overhears a conversation between Wang Chan and Dio in the village. And they're talking about the Joestar Mansion being on fire. And he goes towards it, and that's when he runs in to Jonathan. So it makes a little more sense, but not a lot. Also in this episode, they just completely cut out an entire like battle between Wang Chen and JoJo.
Oh.
And it's just gone.
Yeah, Wang Chen's just like pushing a wheelchair for the rest of the episode.
So that like they just take that out. And Zeppeli actually explains how the ripple cutter, like the wine thing he used, works in the manga. And that's like he's spitting liquid through his teeth. And the combination of the density of like his spit and the wine makes it easier for it to cut through solid objects and deflect projectiles.
I don't want this.
There were no fun facts because all of those were just so much fun.
Okay, well, that's what we'll call it.
But yeah,
that's me spitting wine through my teeth.
But here's episode 5, The Dark Knights. This is your Netflix summary. Again, keep in mind, this is just the most spoilery everything ever. Jojo and his companions are ambushed by Dio and a horde of zombies after a boy named Paco lures them to a graveyard. Poco.
Because I wrote Pogo most of the time, and then at one point I wrote Porco, and I was like, no, it's Porco Rosso. And it's Paco. Poco. Sorry, Poco. Paco is Shane's dog. Poco is this kid.
Yes. No, good distinguishing.
Thank you.
Ta-da.
All right. Was that it? Was that
that's the summary.
All right. Well, here we go. So we are now at the village of Wind Knight's Lot. There's a big castle and was built in the Middle Ages this is their term they use in the dub, as a breeding ground for knights. And I was like, ugh. Why didn't you say like when they train knights? Where they train people into knight? A breeding ground for knights.
They do in the sub. It's a training ground.
In the dub, they chose to use the word breeding ground, and I was
they chose violence. The sub for this anime does choose violence on a daily. I'm just gonna say that out loud.
A breeding ground for knights. And I was like,
breeding ground.
That's a choice. The castle's now a jail, and they mine there as punishment. So I think the intro visuals are growing on me, except for when JoJo goes Super Saiyan. But he's walking up the stairs with that stupid shoulder pads. I was like, those didn't exist in the 1800s. That was until 1980.
Doesn't matter. JoJo did everything first.
That's what he looks like. And that's what this fight feels like. A Dragon Ball Z episode fight lasts multiple episodes. So here we go. Speedwagon wanted power too. And so JoJo looks over and Baron has punched Speedwagon with his pinky, but it hurts him. It was too much for Speedwagon to handle. So all of a sudden, in the middle of this random punching moment, when Speedwagon's like dying, this little farmer kid steals the briefcase Speedwagon was holding that has all their money in it. And I was like, why do you have a briefcase full of money?
Who gives Speedwagon money? Anyway, like you just gave him that to hold.
Worst, because he's the sportscaster. He's always sitting there on the sideline. They could be like, Speedwagon, I need 20 gold pieces stat. And he'd be like, fault. I've got you, JoJo.
He's trying his best.
Robert E.O.'s Speedwagon needs to bounce. All right, here we go.
He never does. Speaking
of bouncing, the way the Baron hops on water, making these ridiculous noises, is insane.
And he's like, my favorite thing.
As he's doing it, and I was like, "What is happening?" He like acrosses it, and I'm like, "What just happened?" And then JoJo's like, "I'll do it too," and he's like, like halfway ankle deep in water, and then I'm like.
Never learned how to tip
over there that's gonna have to swim across.
Yeah,
but somehow he like walks across and doesn't get wet. But that little kid like dove all the way under in the water, and I'm like, what in the geography happened here? Is there a sandbank in this?
Well, the little kid also like projectile shot himself across the water with a rope. Don't forget that. Like he tied a rope around like what looked like his neck and shot himself across the water.
There's a lot happening here, and none of them obey the laws of physics. Even if you're not a magical being.
Sure.
So Jojo knocks the boy down from the wall, and Jojo catches it by using and he goes up.
I just shivered. I hated that so much.
So he shoots his energy up the cliff. That sounded gross. But he missed, and then Baron's like, oh, I say 3 ticks to the left will do it. And he does it, and it launches the kid off the cliff, and Jojo catches him, and he goes, boy, are you all right? Did I use too much? And I'm like, bro, like he knows what you're talking about. You just sound so pretentious. He sounds like a film bro, like, I'm sorry, is this like a Dario Argento kind of thing? You probably don't know who that director is. That's what Jojo sounds like.
I just had an Adrian flashback. How dare you?
It's a
love the guy,
moment.
But oh my god.
That's how I compared this moment. I was like, bro, you don't know what that is. You didn't know what that was either 24 hours ago. Why would you casually try and do that?
He's trying to teach the world about
You don't know what hormone is? Well, I guess you just need to experience it like me. I'm a cultured person now. That's what Jojo is like in my head.
Well, he's a gentleman. He's always been a cultured person.
He's trash. He's trash.
He went to Oxford.
He went to Oxford and studied archaeology. I don't know why that was.
I don't know why you went German, but that's fine. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about Poco. Poor little Poco.
Poco. So the sun now sets, and now it's nighttime. Classic. And all of a sudden, Dio's here. And all of a sudden, they realize they're standing in a graveyard because the 50 billion tombstones around them that we see on the zoom out didn't give it away. So all of a sudden, these zombies are reaching up from the ground. And it's very Return of the Living Dead with a hand up. And Dio's standing on top of this cliff, like, with the moon behind him, like, oh, yes, it's time for me to monologue my evil plan. But Speedwagon is where I paid attention to here. He goes, breathing down me neck got me all sweat. I want to punch him. He sounds like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins. So all these zombies start rising up from the ground. Dio is so humble, goes, I, the pinnacle of creation, I to mere humans are like a god. And I was like, oh, bless. You're the most humble man in the world.
He's not. And that's why he's amazing.
Humble vampire. So all these zombies start rising up. JoJo's now fought all the zombies, and now they're gonna face off Dio. Because Baron wants to go face off against Dio. He's like, Jojo, you take care of these zombies. I'll get Dio. But Jojo like wipes out all the zombies in like 2 seconds with Poco on his back. So here's our classic moment. Dio. Jojo yells that, and I was like, we all knew he's right there, but okay.
That is just in the dub. In the sub, he just says Dio.
Well, it's Dio, and I'm like, okay, stop, please. Like, we've already had a whole conversation with Dio, and then JoJo yells that, and we're like,
because he's angry.
Why did you yell that? Like, we're in the middle of a conversation right now, JoJo. So I wrote that the Baron reminds me of Gentle Criminal from My Hero, the way he hops around and talks. Like the way he's dressed, it absolutely reminds me of Gentle Criminal. Which I should say Gentle Criminal like is based off him or something, because but it's opposite for me. So they're fighting, and Dio can freeze his hand and stop the energy from hurting him. And so the Baron like punches Dio, and he freezes his hand, and it's causing the Baron's arm to freeze up. And I was like, how did Dio's like became a vampire like 2 minutes ago and now learned all of this energy with no mentor?
So Dio's power First of all, hold on. Baron Zeppeli says something just absolutely insane to me because they're like talking about his power and he like kind of loses it a little bit. Hold on. It's in my handwritten notes. I did not put it on the computer. My notes are so chaotic from last night, dude. Yeah, he says he's overwhelmingly evil. It was like, is that his power? But Dio's power
the
is
scientific overwhelmingly evil.
He has complete control over his body, so he can like freeze off and like evaporate anything that comes in contact with anything inside of his body. So as soon as the Hamon came into him, he was able to dissipate it because he's just so in control because he's the perfect human form.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Also, Baron Zeppeli said, "Hey, baby," whenever he was about to attack Dio, and he said it in English, and it was really disturbing.
But it did not say that in the dub. Oh, what a choice.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
So Dio froze Baron's arm in this fight, and now he stabs Baron through the legs with his frozen fingers like this. Just the first two. And, like when you're gonna poke someone's eye out, but he just did it through the calf. And so JoJo's hand, because he went to punch him too, because he didn't just like see this happen. Now JoJo's hand's frozen. This is stupid Speedwagon. So Baron falls, and Speedwagon's got his arm like in his arms. He's like looking at it, and he's like, what does he say? He goes, gangrene will take effect if we don't get the blood flowing. I go, no, Speedwagon. I believe this is actually called frostbite, not gangrene, which comes
he
from
says frostbite.
He says it 2 minutes later in the dub. So he says gangrene first, and I write it down here, and I'll get to that in a second. But
blood poisoning will take effect in the sub.
2 minutes later, he says frostbite, and I'm like, oh, you changed your mind? So Tarukas and this is where I wrote Bluefoot. I was like, what's his name? Bluefoot. They arise and follow the commands of Dio, and JoJo's rising up on a rock too, but we see that Tarukas is holding this rock up, and now they're about to have this epic like boss battle, but not the main boss.
Tarukas?
I need you to leave. Exit out of the Zoom call right now.
I can't. I live here.
Leave.
I'm sorry. Never.
So I go, oh, the bad guys are holding not Dio up on a rock. I keep switching their names. JoJo up on a rock. They're knights who were casualties of Queen Elizabeth's battle with Mary, Queen of Scots. And I go, why is there such real history tied into this show right now? So Baron needs heat to move blood in his arm and heal it. Speedwagon says if he needs heat, then lifts up his shirt and sticks Baron's arm on it, and his body's incredibly like hot, not like attractive hot, like his body temperature must be like 130 degrees. Like,
he did just swim through that horrible water and go through that tunnel.
So maybe he's dying.
He probably has a fever.
Influenza. Like, it's so weird. So Speedwagon compares it to when they have frostbite and they cut open a seal and put people in it to keep warm. I was thinking Star Wars, but I was like, how is Speedwagon this warm? And Speedwagon now knows 2 minutes later this is actually frostbite, not gangrene. And I was like, oh my gosh, this dude is so stupid. I hate Speedwagon so much. So now we're getting a real life history lesson. We're not fighting yet. We're still getting a lot of backstory. A real life history lesson of Queen Elizabeth and Mary and their battle. And these were their two fighters. They swore themselves to serve Mary at the cost of her own lives. But then Lord Darley, her husband, died. So Elizabeth blamed Mary, and then they imprisoned Mary. But then they sacrificed their lives to save Mary and said they did it. But then they were getting beheaded, and they saw that they were dumb to do this because Elizabeth already beheaded Queen Mary anyway. And so then they yelled curses to the queen. And they said Tarukas' neck was thick with fury, so it took many axes to behead him, and he broke many. And Bluefoot's hair wrapped around them in fury. That one didn't make sense. But so that's them. And then one of them says, And I go, oh my God, I cannot stand this dialogue. Says, methinks this boy was a champion in his day. And I was like, if anyone says the term methinks, I am so angry so fast. Like, put a fedora on them, they're done.
Ooh.
And then, get thee gone from here, you gluttony. They tell the other zombies that JoJo's their person to battle. And so Bluefort, the Black Knight, is devoid of mercy and gets Dio's permission to fight JoJo on his own because he sees that he was a champion and he wants a good battle with him. This dialogue is this, like, it was if I was in middle school trying to write a 1880s, like, Les Mis, I don't know. Not Les Mis, like Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of London. But get thee gone from here, you gluttony. It's like, I'm so mad. So this is also a great moment because they start fighting. And so this dude gets his sword. And then we hear JoJo yell, which one is his sword arm? And this is the only time we get the random narrator voiceover in the middle of a fight, so randomly cut in saying, neither, his hair wields the blade. And I was like, why does the narrator have to tell me that? Why can't I have just seen, oh, his hair, which one weird, his hair is holding the blade to swing at JoJo. But the narrator's like, neither, JoJo sees that his hair is wielding the blade. Thank you. So they jump into the water and JoJo needs to breathe to use Hamon, and you can't breathe in the water. So this kid's JoJo swims further down and sees some air bubbles because he's like, oh, this is a mining town. That must mean there must be collapsed tunnels under the water. And then he moves a rock so an air bubble comes up and he just goes and like slurps up an air bubble. So now there is, which is not how that works. Now there's oxygen in him so he can generate now. And he yells, underwater, turquoise blue, overdrive! And starts fighting against him underwater with Hamon. And that's how that episode ends. And then our after credits are zombies fighting still and another new Hamon move from JoJo. That's episode 5.
Hear your voice actors. So Poco, actually star-studded. His English voice actor is Amanda Celine Miller, who's the voice of Boruto Uzumaki in, Boruto. So she's the son of Naruto. So look at you. You got a star. So exciting.
Poco Rosso.
He also plays Sailor Jupiter in Sailor Moon. Star-studded, I'm telling you. And Mechi and Hunter x Hunter, who's not star-studded, but the other two were, so that's pretty exciting. Japanese voice actor is Yumiko Kobayashi, and he plays Atreus in God of War, in the Japanese God of War, which is cool. And also Uyama in Angel Beats, so that's cool. Elizabeth the First, because I had to get her for her one line. Why? Because I hate myself. I don't know. I was like, what can I do to keep myself up until 2 a.m? This is it. So her English voice actor is Karen Strassman, and she plays Rogue the Bat in the Sonic video games. So that was cool.
How are you going to say Rogue in X-Men? I was like, what?
Japanese voice actor is Yuka Kicho, and she plays Femme Fatale in a certain magical index, and my favorite, Wildberry Princess in Adventure Time.
Oh, that's cute.
I know. That brought me legit joy. Like, I stopped to tell Will as I was typing it out. I was like, she plays Wildberry Princess? And he was like, I don't care. I'm playing Elden Ring.
Elden Ring, oh. I'm going to be stuck in this accent all day now.
Honestly, yes. Bruford is
Blue Boy
is played by Tony Oliver, who plays Lupin in Lupin the Third. So kind of a main guy. That's pretty cool. He also plays Lancer in the Fate Stay Night
And Prancer and Vixen.
series.
Come
Don't. Japanese voice actor is Kenjiro Suda. Excuse you, child.
The most famous voice actor of all.
And he plays the house husband in The Ways of the House Husband. So he plays
those titles
Hasu.
makes me very curious.
It's really cute. I don't really like the show, but I like the manga.
House husband.
The Ways of the House Husband.
Is he
His
like
name
a
is
stay-at-home
Hasu.
husband?
Yeah, but he's also a former Yakuza boss.
Oh, intriguing.
Excellent. And the Japanese voice actor. No, I just did that one, didn't I? Yeah, I did. He also plays Nanami in Jujutsu Kaisen. And I would just like to say that I pulled that. I was so proud of myself. I looked at Will and I was like, before I look this up, I need you to know that
Who is this? Who's this?
Bruford.
Blue Boy. Oh.
Yes. And so I was like, I need you to know that I think this is Nanami. I can't tell you why I think
Is that his English or Japanese?
It's Japanese.
Oh, dang.
I prefer Jujutsu Kaisen in Japanese.
I've only watched it in dub.
I watched it week to week
Have
when
you
it came out.
Zero yet?
No. I know I need to. I just don't have time.
We're both yawning on this
I know.
show.
I'm sorry. I'm so tired.
I do.
Tarkus. His English voice actor is Jameson Pierce, and he plays Killer T Cell and Cells at Work. And Sojiro.
Wait, hold on. Cells at Work. This is like anatomy because you said killer like a T cell.
Yeah, it's about a red blood cell. That's what Cells at Work is.
All
but
right,
they're
sorry
little
for
anime
asking.
people.
I'm mad. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you should know this. What's wrong with you?
I was like, Osmosis Jones?
Yeah, basically, but an anime.
Oh.
He also plays Sojiro Sakura in Persona 5 or Boss. We love Sojiro. And he also plays Fukizawa in Bungo Stray Dogs, so that's cool. And his Japanese voice actor is Tetsu Inda, and he plays Endeavor. I guessed this one too. I felt really, really happy. I was like, this
Japanese,
is Endeavor.
though?
Yes, Japanese Endeavor. He plays Endeavor in My Hero Academia, Rider Mask in High Rise Invasion, and of course Nappa in Dragon Ball Z. Duh. I didn't have any more Hamon tidbits for you.
Hamon.
But I do have some slight differences in the anime and the manga. In the manga, Zeppeli doesn't just hit Speedwagon in the stomach. Like, they have a conversation.
Speedwagon he doesn't just turn around and shove his pinky up his ribs.
Speedwagon asks if he is capable of Ripple because he wants to be able to help because he doesn't like just standing on the sidelines.
Well, neither do we.
Zeppeli basically explains to him that he's not good enough for Ripple.
He's inferior.
Like, his body doesn't hold enough pressure for Ripple, and I don't know exactly what that means, but basically he's like, no, honey, you don't have the talent for it. And the hit comes after because he's like, I might be able to give you like a little bit, but he's trying to hit his diaphragm, but he hits just a little too far up. But he does get like this much Ripple. Does it mean anything? No, he doesn't do anything with it. Another fun fact is in the manga, Poco moons them whenever he steals their crap. Like, he's climbing the cliff and pulls down his pants and just like,
he does that in this episode. Yeah, he does it later.
It's so jarring.
So weird. I know this one, and he slaps his butt cheek too. And so I was like,
yeah, just like, keep your pants on, child, for the love of God. Also,
your butt is touching another person because they're piggyback riding you. So it's like, stop.
Also, the anime really does a great disservice to Speedwagon. Like, he does stuff in the manga, like,
not in the anime,
swimming across the river, fighting zombies with a hammer, and trying to use Ripple to help his friends. And in the anime, he just does nothing. He just
stands at the bottom of the cliff and narrates their fights.
So, like, the deep conversation that him and Zeppeli have, like the weird romantic one that they have when he's warming his hand, it could have been, it could have made sense.
If you need heat.
But it didn't.
Yeah, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it was like weirdly romantic.
And he like steamed the entire time. And I was like,
I know.
That's not the average human temperature.
He's a Titan.
Apparently.
All right, that's it for that.
Okay.
Here's your Netflix summary for episode 6. What is it? I think I wrote the title down wrong.
Tomorrow's Courage.
Tomorrow's Courage. I wrote the Courage of Tomorrow. I don't know why. Maybe I'm like
it's because you're in this crazy English accent.
Yes. I will not be reading this in an English accent. So again, spoilers. The resurrected legendary knight Bruford regains his human soul and entrusts JoJo with his sword. Tarkus attacks JoJo with overwhelming power. That is it. So if you don't want to watch the first half, you don't have to.
Hold on. My microphone's messing up. I don't know why.
No.
Maybe it calmed down.
You
It just started disconnecting and reconnecting all of a sudden. I was like, why?
It's too chaotic.
I
was really upset about this.
Not gonna touch the desk.
All right.
All right, so here we go. This is where I forget what Bluefoot's name is. So from here on out, he shall be named Blue Boy in my notes.
Huzzah!
I only remember Blue. It was also like 1 a.m. So Blue Boy's hair is sucking JoJo's blood away, and the more he struggles, the tighter it gets. So it's like those weeds in Harry Potter in the second movie.
Devil's snare.
Devil's snare.
I thought that too.
It's just other level nerdy. So the other guy is now going after Baron and Speedwagon. That would be Tarukus. And he doesn't really, it looks like he does, and then he just kind of stops, apparently. JoJo uses the sword to conduct and melts off Blue Boy's arm. And I was like, all right. And then JoJo starts rapid punching Blue Boy. And it looks like when Deku ultimate punches what's his name in World Heroes mission.
I had like a straight up JoJo epiphany about that last night, because in season 3, I don't want to tell you that Haman means nothing in season 3, but it means nothing because they go to stands and it's a whole thing. But Jotaro's stand, that's his move. Like, he just punches stuff. Like, Star Platinum just punches stuff. And I was like, oh my God, is Star Platinum Jonathan? And I have like this, like, I need to know more.
It is like you're speaking another language right now.
I'm sorry, but just keep that in mind for if we ever get to Stardust Crusaders.
All right. So Speedwagon is like a sportscaster narrating a game. It's like, right? Because in this fight, he's just literally yelling out what's happening and is like, there's 2 of us and we're both watching it. It's fine. So he's missing an arm and he's burnt badly, but he's still going after JoJo. And so it made me think of Monty Python, 'tis but a flesh wound, because they're knights. JoJo realizes that Blue Boy says he can feel pain again. And so JoJo is now using the Hmong to bring flowers back to life. So he's like reviving Blue Boy. And JoJo can sense the good in him. And so when Blue Boy swings at him with a sword, JoJo just stands there, and Blue Boy stops and doesn't go with the killing blow. And he says that his soul is being healed and the hatred is now gone. And Blue Boy is now tranquil and will accept his death now. Blue Boy leaves JoJo his sword, but it's engraved with the word luck from Queen Mary. But he uses his blood to turn it into pluck. And then his soul leaves and he dies. And I was like,
a classic rock thing.
Oh,
like
pluck. Okay.
I know it doesn't make a lot of sense.
The whole time I was thinking like plucking feathers. Like I was
No, it's like a guitar.
So plucking like a guitar. Okay.
Yeah.
I was sitting here like feathers.
No.
All right. But it's also so random. No, because that scene doesn't make sense because he's like, my soul's randomly healed. And he disappears. No. And then Tarakis is like, no, let's smash things. And so Tarakis is here, smashes the armor that Blue Boy just evaporated from, says, he died like a spineless dog. And so now JoJo has to go after Tarakis, and he seems determined to kill them. Why can't he just heal his soul like the other one? The world only knows.
He can't touch him to get his Haman to ripple through him. Just call it the ripple, dude. He can't get the ripple to flow through him. He can't touch him.
All humans exude a weak magnetic field. So JoJo and Baron see all these leaves randomly now on the ground and use their hormone to make all the leaves stick together and turn into a giant magnet that they hold on to float over the lake to escape. And so JoJo has a little Poco on his back, and Poco goes, ha ha, at Tarakis and pulls down his pants and moons him and then slaps the cheeks for good measure. Meanwhile, those cheeks clapping are on JoJo's back. And I'm like, this is so disgusting and weird. So Baron learned these powers from oh my gosh, this is my favorite line that I was dying. They're having casual conversations while Tarakis is like wanting to get them, and they're like magnet floating over this lake because of a pile of leaves they're holding on to. So they decide to have this little conversation and be like, Baron, where did you learn these powers? Well, I saw a doctor in India using them, and then he said he learned it from a man in Tibet. So I went to Tibet to search for the guy, and this healer was named Tom Petty. And so I didn't hear Tom Petty. I was like, Tom Petty. And I laughed. And his name was Tom Petty. It took me out of it. I was dying. And I get why they named it Tom Petty because, copyrights. But I was laughing so hard. I was not ready for Tom Petty to be this
truly
Tibetan
one of the
Indian
funniest
man.
things. It's one of the funniest things the show has ever done. Truly, it is absolutely excellent. I cannot. I just can't. It's so
I had
good.
to post it on Instagram last night because I was laughing so hard. And his name was Tom Petty. And that's how they revealed it too. And I was like, oh, what? So suddenly when they're halfway across there, Tarakis jumps across the cliff/river and goes after them, and he slams into the tower's wall because there's this castle built into the cliffside, and it's pretty cool looking. It looks like those that one place in I think it's in Arizona where the mesa is built into the cliff. And they're like, no, he would be dead. He just slammed his whole entire body, which I'm not quite sure how he launched himself over there, but he would be dead. Well, guess what? He's alive. And so they decide to go look in the tower that what's his name has just launched himself into. So the logic there is not there. And they're like, it's booby trapped. And guess what? It is. And I go, if they say this is where the knights used to train one more time, because as soon as we see this castle, they're like, that's a castle where the knights used to train. Oh, yes, we're on the tower of the castle where the knights used to train. Watch out. There might be booby traps because that's where the knights used to train in 2 minutes. And I was like, I swear, if you say this one more time, I get it. They used to train here. It was a breeding ground for knights. I understand. So Tarakis is in there and he's waiting for JoJo. And Tarakis looks like a ginger Wolverine because we get a better close up on him. And his hair is old, X-Men cartoon ginger Wolverine. So Tarakis used to kill people in this area, where the knights used to train. And it's a chain fighting thing. So they throws this chain around JoJo's neck and he locks the others out of the building. And so they're on one chain attached to the roof. And they both have a collar attached to the chain. And so if you move forward, it makes the other person's chain shorter, like that thing. And so the only way out of there is to kill the other and get the key. It's very Saw right now. I actually believe they did this. Yeah, they did this in one of the Saws.
They did.
Yeah. So they're on one chain when you pull the other. Thank you. I just explained that, Bridget.
You did.
So little boy was so scared, Poco, that he peed his pants. But why did the camera have to be in between his spread legs and zoomed in on the crotch to watch the pee wet his pants? I was like, that was an animation choice I did not need. Thank you. So they go, this door is locked up tighter than a nunnery. And I was like, so mad. Because I just thought of Shakespeare's "Get thee to a nunnery." Thanks, Hamlet.
So good.
So mad. It's locked up tighter than a nunnery. So Poco's now having flashbacks as he's watching this of his being bullied and his sister slapping him, which is not considered bullying, but slaps him. And we've learned now, world,
it's not bullying.
Slapping is not nice. It is bullying.
It's not bullying if you're doing it to improve their future character.
So is this improving Chris Rock's future character?
No, I was talking specifically about Poco. Chris Rock, well, I mean, it did improve his ticket sales.
It really did. Some of them were going for 8,000. I would not do that.
Yeah, no, I don't care that much. There's got to be some nosy person to really want to pay $8,000 to go see Chris
I would
Rock.
volunteer to work in the auditorium. That's what I would do. So slapping him, and his sister was telling him to be brave, do something, have courage for tomorrow. Well, look, it's the episode title. So Poco climbs through this little crawl space hole in the wall to help JoJo, and he does it because he knows if they don't do something, they'll go after the village next, and he must protect his sister. So they're all like, "Now, Taruckus is gonna kill you. He's just a murdering, mindless zombie." So he gets in there. Taruckus sees him, kicks Poco in the face full-fledged, but Poco manages to open the door and let the others inside to help JoJo. So we see that Baron was told by Tom Petty when he met him that one day this power will be the death of him. And so he ominously is walking towards where JoJo and Taruckus are chained up and says, "Is tonight the night?" And they're like, "What are you doing? Why are you talking so ominously?" And so he walks up to Taruckus, and then the end credit music starts playing. And like I was saying, I love when a show does this because it's really epic.
And the end credit song is so good.
Oh, it's so good. And so it starts playing, and he's like monologuing about, "Is this my time to die? Will I have to do this?" And so it ends on that cliffhanger, and I loved when Full Metal Alchemist does that. And so it's a cliffhanger. Do they win? Will Taruckus kill Baron? What is happening? So the after credits we see is JoJo's knocked out, but then he's without a shirt, but then he has a shirt on, and they're still fighting. And they're fighting Taruckus, but you hear Baron yell, "JoJo, take it! Make it yours!" So I assume he dies. And the next episode is also called Sorrowful Successor. So yeah, R.I.P. Baron. He dies in the next episode.
Just wait for the Netflix summary for that episode.
Is it like Baron dies and JoJo has to reel from Baron's death?
I can't say anything, but you're not super wrong.
I saw that clip and then I was like, what's the next episode? I even wrote comments. Next episodes are 7, Sorrowful Successor, and I wrote, uh-oh. Episode 8, Bloody Battle, JoJo and Dio. And then episode 9, The Final Ripple. And I wrote, oh, I get this now.
The Final Ripple, indeed.
Oh, and Viz Media made The Legend of Zelda and Pokemon. That was my last note because I looked that up at one point. There we go.
So I only have 2 voice actors. I have Tom Petty, obviously. His English voice actor is Michael McConaughey, and he plays King Kai in Dragon Ball Z and Seth in Street Fighter. His Japanese voice actor is Tamil Oki, and he plays Clavis Alcard. Yeah, I said that pretty well. I'm pretty proud. And Blaze Blue, which is a video game. And Cormac Mac Arit in Fate Zero. So that's cool for him, I guess.
Good for you, man.
Good for you. And then, of course, Poco's sister, who is not named, but is in the next episode too.
The woman who slaps.
She has a part big enough to be named, and they chose not to name her. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But our English voice actor is Dorothy Fan, and she plays Tanjiro's mom, Ki Kamado, in Demon Slayer. And Toro Mikimura, who is who's the little brother of Miki Makamura in Devilman Crybaby. Poor sweet little child. And then the Japanese voice actor is Aya Endo, and she plays Catleya Baudelaire in Violet Evergarden. It was a really weird name. I could not say it. I tried it out loud for like a while. She also plays Emma in Great Pretender, and Junpei's mom in Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah.
Honestly, still too soon. I literally just texted Michael. I think I actually like Junpei. And then 3 seconds later.
I loved Junpei.
3 seconds later, I went, oh, Junpei. And Michael went, I'm so sorry.
I was so mad. And I was texting Dana about it because she watched it before me. And I was really upset because I was like, oh, I love Junpei. Like, Junpei is my boy. And he's in the opening credits. It's not fair. They do it on purpose and they're assholes.
You're not ready for it.
I'm so mad. Oh, anyway, no anime manga differences. This one was pretty spot on. Oh. But I have one fun fact. Tarkus at some point whenever
Tarakis.
Okay, Tarakis. I'm sorry. I keep calling him Tarkus.
I know. I was like you're missing an A in there.
But Tarakis at some point shouts "Gobabara," at least in the Japanese, when he's
what
like
is that?
At them. Like it's nothing. He just shouts it. It's like a nonsense thing. And it was completely improvised by the actor trying to get into character, like being a weirdo.
And they just liked it.
They thought it was so funny that they couldn't take it out. They were like, no, this is too good.
That's great.
And that's just in the sub, unfortunately. You could
10 out of 10 would have done that too.
But it was so good. But it was literally like Gababara! And that was it. But yeah, I was just thinking the actor getting into character, and they're like, no, that's hilarious. We're keeping it.
I love that.
But yeah, that's it. That's it for this episode. What are our thoughts, Bridget?
So many thoughts. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think I like it still, but they have my attention with this cliffhanger. Like, I wanted to keep watching to see what happened.
You will never guess what happens next.
This Tom Petty
a million years.
What? No, really?
You will never.
Baron doesn't die and make JoJo happens. Become the successor?
I physically cannot even. I'm so excited to record this next episode with you. Because
oh my gosh.
It's just so much. It's just so much. But yeah, everybody.
I don't know. This show is the dialogue's what's killing me, man. This dialogue, I could look past the animation style, but this when the narrator came in and was like, "No, he's not using his hands to wield; it's his hair." I was like, "Bro, why did we have to have a voiceover and disembodied narrator tell me that?" And I'm watching that.
I'm not going to tell you that you should watch it in sub, because I personally love the dub for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I am not rewatching this. So this is it. This dub is it, man. Like, if I get to another season where it's good, maybe I'll rewatch it in sub since I'm our dub watcher. But right now, I will never rewatch Phantom Blood.
It is better in sub, but I love the dub so much. Like, I'm currently watching where I am in dub, and I'm not switching. I will get there in sub when I have to. But yes, unfortunately, I must leave you. And Bridget must leave you too.
Yes. Well, but, you know what? We love you, though.
And we love anime, particularly this anime.
No. Dio!
JoJo.
I'm over it. Goodbye, everyone.
Okay, bye. Love you.
Thank you for watching Gateway Anime Podcast with Bridget and Lauren. Please remember to like, subscribe, and download our episodes. Remember, we also have a Patreon, so if you want to suggest shows for us to watch, make sure you go visit us. Special thank you to Marjorie McClendon for our artwork and designs, and Drew Griffith for all of our music. We hope to see you again next week.